queen in your crib, in your car, in your spot, and especially that motherfucking crown. The bass that I boom is crack that I...
Yo, what's going on YouTube? It's FFL here bringing you another video, and today, you know what time it is, man. We are doing the SMITE Ranked Joust top 5 gods of each class. Today, I mean, I kind of wanted to wait until about a week after patch. I think patch was on the 20th. Today is February 22nd on a Thursday, so there is I think the patch just actually passed, if I'm not mistaken. My days are a little bit mixed up. I'm probably gonna put this out next week somehow, or at some point, so I don't know exactly when and how the meta is gonna change, but I'm gonna just do this kind of predicting. And I think the tournament just ended, the Blondie tournament just ended, so we kind of got to see a little bit of what the meta was there. So I'm kind of gonna piggyback off of there. I don't think I switched up my gods too much on this one, but we're gonna do it that way. So if you have not seen any of my videos on this before, I'm not even gonna explain my tiers. This is a 4-tier ranking system because none of the gods in my top 5 fall below A, hence top 5. But there's little explanations I do about each one: S plus S, A plus A. I'm not going to do those. Go back and watch the other videos if you have not seen those, so you can get a little bit of more information on what S plus means, in my opinion. But yeah, not going to talk too much at the beginning of this. Let's just before we get into the video, man, I'm going to ask you guys, drop down, hit the subscribe button. I think 85% of my viewers are not subscribed to the channel, which is criminal. So I ask that you guys do hit that subscribe button. And yeah, man, let's get into this video. Alright, so just like I do in the other videos, we're going to talk about the meta for a brief second here, because it's going to really insinuate why I put these gods in the places that I put them. Double tank meta. Auto attack warriors are insane. Mages aren't great, but there's some that still perform, some that do really well. Guardian, warrior, hunter, I think is the best comp, and so I think most of my tier list is going to revolve around that. Disclaimer, I have to say this at the beginning of every video I do on this: I am not a GM. I play at a high diamond to low masters level. I usually end at about 25 to 2900 MMR. I've never broken 2900, so I'm like high 2800. Never been to 2900 plus MMR, so that is where my opinion falls and where I list these gods. I'm not gonna list, like, spoiler alert, Uller. Uller went crazy in the tournament. I'm assuming that in GM level play, Uller goes fucking crazy, but he's not gonna make my top 5 hunters, because most people that play from bronze all the way up to about where I'm at don't utilize Uller the way someone who's GM, like a Krishoa, shout out to my boy Krishoa, are going to utilize that god. Just hands down, flat out. So the high skill ceiling gods are not going to be included in this list. And yeah, so let's just get into it, man. We're going to start with Guardians like always, and we're going to start with the most broken Guardian, in my opinion, at S+. It's going to be the boat. We're throwing Charon in S+. Just provides a lot to the team, man. The ultimate's crazy. It's wide lane controlling, crowd control, a silence, a root, ton of damage. You can go full tank with 1 damage item, and this god's still pumping out numbers. It's absolutely insane. Charon number 1. Number 2. Number 2 switched up a little bit, because I'm sure you were expecting to see Kuzumbo up here. But my number 2 is going to be Atlas, and I'm going to put Atlas at S. I think Atlas has always been good. I don't think he fell off at all, but I explained the meta at the beginning. He excels in this double frontline meta simply because his ult provides prot shred. Charon's just good all around. Oh, Charon. Atlas is just good all around, man. You want a god that can peel? Atlas. You want a guy that can play aggressive? Atlas. You want a guy that can play passive? Atlas. You want a god that's really good into shredding tanks? Atlas. You want a god that can do really good damage? Atlas. He does everything. He doesn't really like, he's not like the best in everything, at anything, but he does everything, man. This guy's just absolutely nuts. I think he's the number 2 Guardian right now, hands down. I don't think I'm going to find a lot of challenge on that. So, number 3, also being placed in S, Fafnir. I think Fafnir is the number 3 god. Keep in mind, the meta I talked about. Auto attack warriors are insane. Hunters and warriors are being used on the same team. An auto attack warrior, a hunter, and a guardian. This god, absolutely crazy with that kind of comp. You run a Fafnir with an Osiris and a Hou-Yi. You run a Fafnir with an Amaterasu and a Hachiman. You run a Fafnir with an Erlang Shen or a Gilgamesh. With just insert hunter. This god, you know what he does. He buffs the whole team with the I forget the name of it, the ability, but you know what I'm talking about. The 3. Giant AoE circle when he's in his dragon form for 60 seconds. He's a menace, man. Fafnir's fucking crazy right now. He's really, really, really good. If you know how to play him, this is your time. If you're running meta. If you're running 3-stack, you need to be running... if you're running Fafnir in a 3-stack, run a hunter and run an auto attack warrior. That's a tough comp to stop, man. It's a tough comp to stop. You got comp diff already. You just gotta play better. So, don't spend too much time on Atlas. Or, God, man, I'm just off the mark tonight, huh? Not gonna spend too much time on Fafnir. Moving on to number 4, Guardian. That is going to be the turtle, Kuzenbo. Also an S. So, Kuzenbo, notoriously the number 1. This is where you would usually stick him, right here. But he's gonna go down here because Kuzenbo, not as great into the double backline comps. I mean the double frontline comps. I'm gonna try not to fuck up this much. I'm sorry, gentlemen and ladies. Not as great into the double frontline comps. Notoriously known to just get in the backline and cause disruption. Pop his 2, cooldowns, bunch of damage. Super tanky because of the passive. Just not that great into the double frontline. So he's still really good. That's why I'm putting him at number 4 and an S, so don't downplay what I'm saying. I just don't think he's the number 1, 2, or 3 Guardian right now. I think these 3 are for sure better in this current meta. That is subject to change, but right now, this is what I'm gonna put my top 4. Number 5, Cabrakan, also an S. Have you noticed a pattern here? Guardians are really good. Cabrakan, just a super easy god to play. The best Cabrakans understand engage/disengage. I've said that a bunch of times. If you know me or if you're around me in my circle, engage/disengage means the ability to engage a fight, know when to disengage a fight, know when to re-engage in a fight. Not just press your 1, walk at people, press your 2, press your 3, press your alt. No, Cabrakan is very one trick. You can see him coming. A good Cabrakan's gonna pop that 1, juke, walk in, pull a dash, pull some beads, burn things off the other team. Doesn't always have to land the 1. Just the fact that you're popping your 1 and walking into that back line or walking toward that front line is enough for them to say, hey, Cabrakan's about to land a stun. They're going to look to follow up, disengage. Boom. You either got a leap or you got some kind of beads or relic or shell or horrific or something coming off the front line or the back line. Then drop your kit. Cabrakan's is super good. 2 stuns in his kit and a wall. 3 that does crazy damage. Not crazy damage, but it does decent damage and just super annoying to play into. You just can't move. You pop a horrific, you pop his alt, you pop his 3. He's just super hard to walk away from. Cabrakan number 4. And honorable mention, we have to throw this god in here, Ares in S, because Ares, take a look at these top 5 outside of Cabrakan. Counter. Ares counters all these gods and a lot of the gods that are in this top 5 list for each role. Ares is super good into most people. He's a great counter pick. You don't want to first pick Ares, but he's an insane counter pick if you have like a Kuzenbo with let's see, there's some kind of mage like a Tiamat or something, or just any kind of god that has dashes, man. The auto attack warriors, like let's say it's a Gilgamesh and a Kuzenbo on their team. Ares is super good into them. The cripple is just insane. You can have chains on cooldown. Bolsters are really good ability. 30% CCR, protections. It's just he's just a good all-around god. If you play Ares, pick him as a counter when you see one of these 4 fly out. Doesn't do too much against the Kraken. Kraken, not the best into Ares either though, because Kraken doesn't have any CC immunity. So Ares is just a good counter to all the top 5 Guardians. So I have to throw him up there. He has to be an honorable mention. Moving on. Let's go into our warriors. Number 1 warrior right now, in my opinion, for ranked Joust at like a Master's Diamond level, is going to be the Osiris. Now, when I find him, we'll talk about him, because apparently I can't find him. LMNO Osiris. I'm going to put Osiris, you guessed it, in S+. This god is crazy. Mitigation's built in his kit. Auto attack warriors is just really good right now. Phalanx, Berserkers, Shoguns, Kin Size, Executioner, Spirit Robe. Insane damage and unkillable. Let's say you're playing Osiris into that meta comp where they have a Guardian, a Hunter, and a Warrior. Osiris doesn't need to worry about the Guardian's damage. He can just build Phalanx with a Warrior's Axe into a Berserkers, or flip the Berserkers into Phalanx. He's unkillable. He just runs down your team. You can go straight into Kins or Xe after that, and then get the Shoguns. Nasty god. Objective push. He's so good, man. His poke in the early levels, you can go Glad Shield with this god if you really want to. If you do opt in to go Glad Shield, I do recommend you go like Shoguns after that, or you can go, you know, Berserkers or Phalanx into Oni's Hunter Garb. Get the mitigations because he has built-in mitigations. Insane passive. The ult on a super low cooldown. He's just unkillable, man. Very, very good god right now. I recommend picking Osiris. Highly recommend it. It's easy MMR if you know how to play this god, and you're gonna just chop down most comps without any punish. He does have counters, and we'll get into that later, especially one of the mages that are on my top 5 list. But anyways, moving on. Number 2 warrior, in my opinion, is going to be Achilles. And I know what you're thinking. I'm going to put him in S. You're going, but Achilles isn't an auto attack warrior. Yeah, but Achilles has an execute. And it's double frontline comp, or double frontline meta right now, boys. So this god with an execute is just nasty. The ability to have his passive where he can put on armor, take off armor. He's a lot more mobile, a little bit more damage, or he can just be straight up tanky. You should be switching that late game anyways. He's just really good, man. Access to a stun, combat dodge, ton of poke, ton of pressure, which is what you want. This meta is super pressure heavy. You need to be picking gods that have pressure. Look at these gods right here. All of these gods. You need to be abusing pressure and stripping off buffs. We'll get into a how to draft video at some point. It's been really busy lately. I just wanted to knock this out. You're probably watching this video on like Sunday, Monday, or Tuesday. What's today's date? Today's the 22nd. So yeah, you're probably watching this on like 25th, 26th, 27th. At least this is when I'm dropping it. But you might be watching it later. Super pressure heavy meta. Achilles is really well into that. He can pressure out the front line. The stun's there. The threat of the execute's always there. Horrific is really, really, really good because it's like 4 fucking relics in one. So you get horrific, and this guy's just going on you, poking you with those autos, those long range autos, and executes you. Kind of sucks. So Achilles, I gotta put him as number 2. Where Vabana probably would have been here until the nerf. The nerf actually fucked Vabana, so he's not on this top 5 list. Spoiler alert. But number 3, we're going to throw in Amaterasu. S. I'm sticking her in S. Very, very good god. Movement speed buff for the team. Damage buff for the team. Her passive allows you to do increased damage to the team. Bracer is really good right now. So if you're running Amaterasu, I recommend running Bracer with her. On top of her passive, you do disgusting damage. In the same build as this Osiris. This just, and every one of these auto attack warriors I'm going to be putting on this list. It's a little bit of a spoiler. Phalanx, Berserkers, Shoguns, Kin Size, Executioner, Mantle, Spirit Robe. That's all you need. You can go anything last. Relic Dagger, Wing Blade. Doesn't matter what you do. Wing Blade's not a thing. I think it's I think that's under the dagger now. But anyways, Amaterasu, same thing as Osiris, man. Pretty much unkillable. Amaterasu just provides a little bit more late game utility, where Cyrus is a lot more early game. Ama's gonna not have that early game pressure, which sucks, but her late game is so disgusting that I have to put her in this top 5, especially number 3, over the other auto attack warriors that we're gonna get into. I think Ama's just better than them just because her ult and her 1 and her passive just make her extremely tough to deal with because she does so much damage. So it makes up for the early game. So yeah, Ama number 3. Number 4, we're gonna go Gilgamesh. I'm gonna put Gilgamesh in A+. Don't think he's as good as Ama. He has a really good ult. He has really good CC in the drop kick. Not really good, but decent CC in the drop kick. He has a leap. He has a really good passive that gives him access to free gold pretty much, or an item advantage. So he can get some protections, he can get some damage online, just free stats. Free stats is always a really good passive. And his 1 hits really hard, and he abuses the same kind of builds as they do. I'm not going to keep listing it, Berserkers and all that. Yeah, I'm not going to keep listing it. You understand what I'm going into now. Achilles is really good. His ult's really good for securing kills, for locking down targets. I kind of like the ult better than Ama most of the game, early to mid game, but the late game ult I got to give to Ama. It's just giant cone, harder to avoid than the Gilga. I've watched so many people just walk out of Gilga ult versus an Ama miss. It's your misplay if you miss your ult. If they juke your giant fucking cone ult, then it's on you. So Gilga under Ama, Gilga in A+. Moving on to number 5. Moving on to number 5. Jesus. Erlang Shen. Erlang Shen gonna go in A+ right next to Gilg. Same thing, man. Abuses those auto attack items right now. His ult is very good to peel from your backlines. If someone goes on your hunter, he has a really good ult to peel. It heals. He has a root. He has a dash that does crazy damage, and he has enhancements to his 1, his auto attack damage, the dog. Erlang is very good. You do not want him on you when he's 4 or 5 items in. He is so hard to get off, to peel off, and he can just constantly run you down. And the ult is great. The ult is great when they're all inning. You could just walk to the side, peel the entire team, dash out. You get a shield. Erlang, very good. And honorable mention on my top 5 warriors list, it's got to be Horus. I have to throw Horus on this list. Horus just because he acts as like a pseudo guardian. If you're not running the meta comp, if you're just running him with a double backline, or running him with, you know, a mage or assassin or something else, or double warrior comp. Double warrior comp is really good. If you watch the comp video, you know what I'm talking about here. Go watch the comp video that I released about a week ago. A lot of good information in that video. Horus is very good on that double warrior comp. Super good peel, and I think the only warrior in the game right now that can just freely walk up and punish gods for nothing. Just walk up, knock them up, dash into them and stun them, lower their protections, and just 3 out. He's gone. Try to lock him down. He's gone. You have walls, he's gone. You have CC, he's gone. Baits a lot of abilities out. You horrific him, he's gone. Insane. The ult's not as bad as I used to think it was in Joust. It's still pretty useless, but you can use it to cut off routes. You can use it to invade Bull Demon. You can use it to make a very aggro Bull Demon play. As soon as you get a pick, you pop that Horus ult. All you guys just go straight to left. Don't give the enemy team time to back. Horus is extremely good, and I have to put him in here. I do know I'm leaving out some auto attack warriors like Vamana. Vamana was nerfed pretty badly, unfortunately. So Vamana, well, not unfortunately. Let's get the Vamana the fuck out of the meta. He would have been on this list, and Horus would not have been here. Excuse me. Vamana was going to be my number 2, and it's going to push everybody down. So Achilles would have been 3, Ama would have been 4, Gilg would have been 5, and Erlang would have been my honorable mention. But Vamana was nerfed pretty hard. He lost 30 damage in his ult late game. That's huge. It really is huge. And some kind of percentage of the lifesteal. Fat percentage of the lifesteal. So I just don't put him in here. I'm missing an auto attack warrior, I know. I think it is just Vamana. No, Bellona. Bellona is really good, and if I had another honorable mention, I mean, we can just I'm not going to throw it on the list, but we can just say it. Bellona is very good right now also. You could, there's an argument that I could take Horus out of there and put Bologna in this slot. But I have to put Horus in there. I would just feel bad not putting Horus in there. And it's crazy because Shiva's not even in this list. Fucking wild. That's how good auto attack warriors are right now. So yeah, that's our warriors. Moving along. 20 minutes in, we're going to try and make good time. Assassins. Assassins, very poor right now. Not the greatest into this meta. Some can still work, and some are really good, like Camazotz. Camazotz number 1 assassin right now, in my opinion. S. I'm going to put him in S. Super good at poking. Poke is super important. I probably should have said that at the beginning of the video because a lot of you skip past this shit anyways. Kama, very good at poking with his 1 and his 2. He stops the front line's blinks. I was playing a really good Camazotz as a Cabrakan, and he just kept fucking up my engage, man. He kept fucking up my initiate. I wanted to blink onto their backline. He kept landing that 1 on me. The Bluestone kept procking. Warrior's Axe was nerfed, so Bluestone is a lot more potent than it used to be, especially on gods like Camazotz who can just poke the front line. You can never blink. If you're Ares and you're playing into a Camazotz, he's constantly landing that 1 on you on cooldown. You cannot blink. It fucks up your initiate. So super safe at diving the backline. Can get out. Insanely safe. He builds beads. 3's in. Drops his kit. Probably 3's out by that time. If not, he can ult away. He can blink in. Save his 3. Drop his kit. 3 out. He's out. Or, you know, he can blink in, drop his kit. You go to secure him. He can 3 out. Doesn't even need to ult. Ult to secure kills. Just a super safe divey god, man. You want to build him Thebes, maybe Thebes full damage, or you can go into the hammer, Blackthorn hammer, full damage. Blackthorn did get buffed. I believe it is 2200 gold now, a little bit more health, so super safe in the early game. If you have a Guardian on your team with the Camazotz who already built Thebes, you can opt into that Blackthorn hammer, and he's super good with that. Most like all these assassins I'm going to list. So, number 2, we're going to move past. We're going to throw Thor in there. Thor's my number 2 assassin. We're going to put him in A+. Good setup. Pseudo hybrid. You can build him full damage, you can build him full tank, you can build him a mixture of it. I would say I would recommend doing a mixture. Thebes Jotuns, and then, you know, Rune Forged hammer, or skip the Thebes and go straight into just Jotuns and pure tank after that, with a Rune Forged. Just super good at setting up kills. He opens the door to a lot of initiate. Can set up kills for his backline or his front line to follow up off CC. Thor wall into an Atlas pull, and then your backline drops damage. Super good at pulling relics. Thor's just a good all-around god, and if they get away, he's always there to dive the backline with the ultimate, or he can just initiate with the ultimate, drop his kit, hammer out. Doesn't have to get the kill. That's where your backline or your guardian's gonna come in. Super good god. Can just be played all around. So, number 3 assassin, Set. Throwing Set in there. Kind of does what Kama does, just in a less potent way. He can dive the backline. He can blink in, drop a lot of damage, a ton of damage, and then just TP out. Super good, man. Just a very good god. You don't even need to build auto attack on him, but most likely you're going to have like a Shoguns on the team, which is going to benefit him a lot. Free attack speed in the passive, ton of damage, ton of survivability. Ooh, sorry, it's late. It is midnight. So technically it's the 23rd right now, but it's midnight. So I need to take my ass to bed after this. Set's a super good god. If you find somebody who's very, very good on the Set, good luck. As your mage, you have to pay attention. You guys can't just dive the backline and leave your mage by themselves or your hunter by themselves. Set will fucking destroy them. He is very good. Prioritize the Set, man. If you'd find yourself with Camazotz banned and you don't play the Thor, play the Set. Number 4. Where is the boy? Neja. Neja, I'm going to put an A+. You're probably like, what the fuck is going on? How is Neja this low? An A+, he was an S+ god. The last tier list you did, I know. But very, very much like Kuzenbo that I stated. Nejat's just not the greatest into the double front line. He doesn't do exactly what you want to do, which is harass the back line. This god acts as an assassin. Like he's very oppressive as an assassin, but can be full tank, which is crazy. That's why he's so good. The ring bounce is insane. He honestly counters one of the top 5 mages you'll see. Ton of damage in the ring toss. He has crazy initiate with the sash. The threat of the ult's always there. They need to build beads. If they don't, they just die. He opens the door to a lot of just team fight play, man. He can take one god out of the fight if he needs to. Let's just say it's double tank versus double tank. You pick a Nejat, you can pull one of these tanks out of the fight completely. You don't always have to look to prioritize the backline. He could just be utilized in so many different ways. That's why Nejat's so good. I just don't think he's in that top 3 anymore. I think he does fall below the Thor in the set. It's just my opinion. I think these two gods offer a lot more outside of the ult, but this god can still do some shit. He's a fucking menace, man. This god just, you still probably need to be banning him if you're afraid of him. I'm not going to ban him anymore. I'm not afraid of the Nejat, especially for running double tank, which is most likely what I'm going to be doing because I'm duo queuing and trio queuing a lot lately. So I don't ban the Nejat anymore. I'm banning these gods. I'm banning Kama. You know, I'm sorry. I probably won't ever ban these gods unless they're taken or they just fit in well. So call me crazy, but that's where I'm at with it. Number 5. Now, a lot of you, if you know me, are going to think I'm biased here, but it is not biased. I play it a lot. I see other people playing it that are in GM and in Masters, and that's going to be the Humbots. Now, I'm going to put Humbots in A. Not the best god. Let's just say that. So that just shows where our assassins are. Humbots is just very good at pulling relics, much like the Kabrakan. You throw the Sacred Monkey. You can TP in. You can act like you're going to commit, and then you can leap out. You can blink in, hit the damage, you can leap out. Like, he's just very, very good at pulling abilities, pulling ults, pulling relics, and getting out without even dropping the ult. I play a lot of this god, so it does seem very biased. I would love to put him in S because I think he's up there, but I know he's not, you know. The ult's just super good. The ult's very, very good at playing around buffs. The way I play him, sometimes I either jungle or Bluestone or Warrior's Axe into Jotuns and then tank items. Or you can play him full damage and just be super fucking annoying into that backline, constantly blinking and dropping your ult into the backline. You don't want to initiate with him. You want to clean up with him. You want to peel with him. Stone of the Binding is a very good item on him. Just tank. Jotuns with tank items is how I recommend building him. Is like Warrior's Axe, Jotun's Wrath. I'm not going to give a full build here, but Stone of the Binding, Mantle, Discord, Spirit Robe, those kind of god. Thebes is good. Blackthorn Hammer, just some tankiness so you can survive, because you are going to be burned if you do not build tank items. You need to build some kind of protections and survivability, because he's very one trick. He's very alt bot ish. If you're just playing him at a general level, I would say I play him at a much higher level, so I don't need to play around the ult. But I like to play around the buffs with his ult and secure buffs, fight for buffs, drop the ultimate, force beads, and just steal the farm. Okay, I'm saying a lot. Honorable mention, throwing Bastet in there at A. Not the greatest right now. Another one of my mains, just not the greatest right now, especially into certain comps. She just gets shut down a lot. It's just a ton of CC on the map now. Auto attack warriors are a thing. Osiris, she leaps in over the wall. Osiris can ult on top of her. She leaps back. Let's see, another god. Kama can follow her. Thor can follow her. There's another god I'm thinking of. Bellona can ult over on top of her. Gilga can follow her. So much over the wall play that Bastet just doesn't feel the greatest. You can still pop off with her. Again, this doesn't mean that she's not playable. I'm putting her on my list. It's because she's good. She just doesn't feel the greatest right now into a double front line. You're not really poking and getting to that back line when there's a double front line in front of you. Imagine leaping over an Atlas to try to get to a Vulcan or something, and you leap back and Atlas just grabs your ass. You're just dead. So not the greatest. Assassins just aren't in the greatest spot, and that's so painful for me to say considering I'm an assassin main. But it is what it is. Let's just be honest. Alright, let's get into Warriors. Try to wrap this video up. We have 10 more gods to talk about, 12 more gods to talk about. Number 1 hunter, in my opinion, right now in S+ is Anher. Double tank meta, Anher passive equals Anher as the number 1 hunter. This god removes 20 flat physical prots. That's insane, especially in a comp where you have these three. Imagine these three on the same comp, on the same team. This guy, and this guy. He just byproduct does so much more damage because Anher. It's disgusting. Anher needs to be stopped. The pillar's so good. He can be played super aggressively, or he can be played super passive. He has a knockback. He has a knock up in the leap. His ultimate's very, very good. Also procs the passive. He's just super good right now, man. And it's mostly because the prot shred and just he can be aggro. He's a very, very, very good early game hunter, which is very unlike all the other hunters. Anher is probably the best at the early game, which is what you want right now. You want pressure. You want aggro. You want damage. This god provides all of it. He is by far the best hunter right now in this game mode. Number 2. We're still going to be putting these OP fucks in here, but just not as good. Hachiman in S. Mostly because of the safety. He didn't fall off too hard. He doesn't have prot shred, but he has extremely good poke and pressure. And he has super good safety. It's hard to kill him unless you have walls. This is where Thor comes in, Kabrakan comes in. Anher pillar, if you're goaded with the Anher pillar, you can even stop his dash at the right time. But cutting off his paths, cutting off his route, because that dash is just not the greatest with Thor and Kabrakan, or like Ares. He gets countered super hard. But Hachi's still super good, man. Again, he has really good poke, really good range with the ones, with the one autos. He has a dash, and he has an ultimate that can get him in or get him out of fights very, very well. So Hachiman extremely good still. Number 3 hunter right now, in my opinion. I gotta throw Hou Yi in there. Hou Yi, high skill ceiling. Again, I'm gonna say it every patch or every tier list. Hou Yi is S+, best god in game if destroyers on him. If you know, I forget his name, man. I'm blanking right now. Doesn't matter. Get somebody who's GM on this god. He's absolutely insane. Shinigami. There you go. Shinigami on him. Some type of GM high skill ceiling player who's piloting this god. He's S+. He's disgusting. He's just not as good on this map because the bounces. Hou Yi is much like AMC. He's never like top 5 in my opinion, but AMC goes really hard on that last map because the ability to cover the coverage of his hives. Hou Yi coverage on that one on the bounce is disgusting. You can't fight him at red buff on that old map. This new map you can. You have to be a lot better to do what Hou Yi wants to do in those buff fights. So on the red buff and you know, fighting for the Comet, the Dwayne the Rock Johnson. Hou Yi's just a solid god, man. I mean, high skill ceiling, so I can't put him any higher than A+. But most of the Hou Yis you're going to run into aren't the greatest, so I got to put this god in A+ because of that. Moving on, number 4. Down in the X's, Shibalanke. We're going to put him in A. I'm putting Shibalanke in A because he has fallen off quite a bit. Crit is a lot better than, you know, Exikins. Well, it was, so maybe I could put him a little bit higher, but you know, over the Hou Yi. I could put X-Ball here, but for the sake of my list, I already made it. We're going to put X-Ball at A at number 4, top 5 hunters. Just doesn't feel the greatest. He just gets ran down. He's not allowed to really get his build online, so I have to put him down here, but that's not every game, man. If you let this guy get ahead, if you let this guy just stay in the game, if you let this guy get late game, you're melted. You're melted, bro. You're melted. He does so much damage. Now, crit's still very good. It did get nerfed, hard nerfed. That's why I put him in A. I'll stick him in A+, because crit is nerfed. Because X-Ball doesn't utilize crit as well as some of these other hunters, or most of the other hunters. So, he's more like the Exekins, Aussie, Griffwing, Oboe type of, dominance type of hunter. Don't let him get online, boys. He fucking destroys if he gets online. Number 5. Number 5, you're going to call me crazy? Maybe. I doubt it. I don't think so. Number 5 is going to be... Where are you at? Chiron. We're going to put Chiron in A. Chiron is just good because he's safe. He can sit in the back line, auto the front line, and drop damage when they're boxing your front line. Your front line goes in. You can pop your ult. If you're good, you can pretty much wrap up the kill. If you're getting dove, if you die, you come back to life because your ult just allows you to come back to life for some reason whenever you get kills with it. And also he has access to that his first ability, CC immunes gods. So if you play Chiron into Ares, or you play Chiron into, Atlas or anything, Charon, if you time the one right, you CC cleanse everybody on your team if they're standing in it, or yourself or an ally. And for that reason, I have to put Chiron in the top 5. It's because of his first ability. If that first ability did not cleanse, he would not be anywhere on this list. But that ability is so good, and it's being utilized a lot more. I'm seeing a lot of people actually utilize it more. You don't have to actually just be goated to use it and abuse it. Most people don't know that it cleanses CC though. So, number 5. Honorable mention, I gotta throw Kernonos. Kernonos is gonna be in the honorable mentions simply because his glaive, very, very similar to On Her, actually stronger than On Her, reduces protections. Once it's leveled up though, On Her gets a base auto attack, lands, spear lands, alt lands, 20 flat pen or 20 flat physical protection reduction, whereas you need to level up his 1 to get it, which is most likely not going to happen until mid game after like the 8, 9, 10 minute mark, because you're leveling up your 2, the Bramble. So, but because he has access to free prot shred on top of items that can prot shred, he has to be put in honorable mention. I have to just talk about Kernonos because he is very, very good if utilized correctly. Not as safe as the other hunters also, but a very, very good ult. So yeah, Kernonos. And last but not least, let's get into our mages. Our number 1 mage in S+, you guessed it, Thoth. Now, kind of like Nejat, Thoth doesn't do great into a double front line, but there's Tablet of Destinies, and Thoth procs Tablet of Destinies very well. So he can build tablet, full fucking prot shred, whether it's Charon's Coin or Obshard, and then build tablet. Well, Tablet of Destinies in that build. I'm not saying in order, but Tablet of Destinies, Obshard, Soul Reaver, things like that. Conduit got buffed. He utilizes Conduit gem very, very well. And can go into Archmages. He can one-shot. He's very good. He's insane. You put this god behind 2 frontliners and you can never get to him. Fuck off. Ban this mage. If you're thinking you're gonna run mage. Thoth's annoying, man. He's annoying to get to. He's annoying to kill. You need coordinated dive to get to him. He's just super annoying to play with. I don't ban him and I don't mind playing against him because I usually run with 1 or 2 other people and we can coordinate our dives. We call the beads out. But if you're solo queuing or if you're not communicating well with your team, ban this god. You don't want him in your lobbies with a warrior and a guardian in front of him. Number 2, and I'm putting this god in S, Baron Semity. Baron just rose tremendously in the ranks over this last few weeks, probably a month or 2 that I did the last tier list. His access to tank items like Spirit Robe, Thieves, Relic Dagger, those type of items, and then 1 damage item or 2 damage items. This god's fucking hard to play into if somebody's utilizing him well, how they're supposed to be. He's one of the worst full damage mages in my opinion. I don't think you should be building him full damage. I think you need to be using him as like a pseudo tank with a warrior, and then throw a mage or your hunter in the background. Probably a hunter though. I would run Baron, Guardian, Hunter. Sorry, Baron, Warrior, Hunter. Use him with the Shoguns, a Thebes, Relic Dagger, Spirit Robe, and then like Soul Reaver or E-Staff or something like that. Baron's very, very good at pulling relics and super punishing gods after they have used their escapes or their relics. Notorious for countering Neja, which is why I think Neja has fallen a little bit. I didn't want to spoil that earlier, but Neja just hard countered by Baron, who's being played a lot. You sash in, what are you going to do? Alt Baron? You sash in. If you don't alt whoever you're sashed on, Baron just alts you. You have to alt out. He forces your ult. Just super good at countering this god in particular, but countering other, basically immobile gods. You know, Kukulkan, very good mage. Vulcan's a good mage. Counters all of them. Counters a lot of these gods that don't have leaps. Kabrakan gets kind of toasted by the Baron. Forces the beads. Just annoying to play into. Number 3. I'm going to put my number 3 mage, Ishel. We're going to put Ishel number 5. Or A+, I'm sorry, not number 5. Number 3 in A+. Immobile as hell, but CC immune ult, knock up, root, and heals. Heals with the ult and heals with one of the abilities. One does a ton of damage. Ishel's annoying as hell. Full damage with a breastplate. That's how I would recommend building her, because you're probably going to be playing into a warrior and a hunter if you do find yourself in that position. Or even if you're playing against an assassin that won't get off your nuts, your thick nuts, because this god is thick. Ishel's just super good, man. She is immobile, so she can be dove, but she has self-peel, much like the Morgan Le Fay, who you're not going to see on this list, spoiler alert. Self-peel is very, very good to have on a mage. Very good. On top of a heal, on top of a CC immune ult. So try to dive her and she just ults, or she just throws her abilities on herself and walks away for free, and then gets to ult to reinitiate, to re-engage. Super good god. Very easy to play. Not a high skill ceiling. Just immobile, which sucks. So that's why I'm putting her at A+. Otherwise, she'd be at S. If she had to escape somehow. I don't know how they would do that, but who knows? Her 3, she throws it down and backs, backfires kind of. Who knows? But A+. Number 4, Vulcan. We're going to throw Vulcan in A+ as well. Vulcan, very, very, very good at kiting Osiris, Achilles, Amaterasu, Gilgamesh, Erlang Shen. All these auto attack based warriors, really hard to play into a Vulcan when you're picking those gods, or Achilles. He's super good at kiting. You try to dive him, he tosses a meatball on himself, he throws down his turret, he throws his ult, he can backfire away. I just watched an Osiris today try to tether Vulcan, and he just juked and backfired. He was out of the tether. Osiris tried to reinitiate back on him. He drops a meatball, knocks Osiris away, and then Osiris is like, well, fuck, I got nothing now. That's my kit. I gotta leave. Vulcan's very good at kiting these top warriors. Basically all 5 of them. I mean, Osiris, Achilles, Amma, Gilg, Erlang all get kind of countered by Vulcan. So I have to put Vulcan in my top 5. So yeah. Number 5, Kukulkan. This god is annoying. We're going to put him as A+, just because he has no escape. They did nerf his movement speed ability. It is on a 2-second longer cooldown late game. Sure, you can build cooldown, but that does not mean that you just negate what they just did. You still have 2 seconds more on the cooldown, on the cooldown, even if you build CDR. He's just safe, and he does a lot of damage. He has a really good ult for gods, to pick with Neja or Achilles, Kabrakan. He can drop his kit and do a fuck ton of damage. He's super safe to play. He is very hard to siege into. If they kill your front line and there's Kukulkan alive still, good luck taking towers, because Kukulkan can just drop his ability and walk away, and he full clears. So when you're sieging Titan into a Kukulkan, it's super hard to do. So yeah, Kukulkan, number 5. And honorable mention, just because she's a fucking bitch and I hate her, Baba Yaga. Gotta throw Baba Yaga in the top 5. Honorable mention, I guess. Just because she's got good counter initiate. You know, Baba is a god that plays very, very well behind a backline, or a front line, I apologize. She plays very well behind a front line, or she can build the prophetic cloak and front line herself. And if you engage on her, she pops the ult. She's safe. There is Sunder available though, and a lot of these auto attack warriors now do fuck her up. So if you do pop an ult as Baba, if they CC immune it, like let's say Osiris is running at you and you pop your ult and he dash, you know, he ults over that, sunders you, or has Executioner built in and just starts to auto attack you, there's not much you can do. She's not the best in this meta right now, but out of all the mages that I'm seeing right here in this list, she is better than all of them, so I have to put her in my top 5 honorable mention. I do think she's better than Lefay. Lefay just kind of fell off. Discordia, you know, your higher prioritized mages. I think Baba is better than all of them down here, not above. So Baba Yaga honorable mention. So that's it, boys. I am not going to do the outro I used to do. It just takes too long to edit. I do just want to get this out. Like I said, I'm going to be putting this out in about a week, maybe a little less than a week. It is Thursday the 22nd. It'll probably be out by, hopefully by Tuesday. Hopefully I drop it like Monday night. So Tuesday we wake up, it's a week after the patch. And yeah, we see how my predictions in this fare. So you guys know what to do, man. If you like that video, go ahead and show some love in the comments. Argue with me. Was I on? Am I off? Am I fucking poo poo pee pee, dog water? Do I suck? Or was I spot on? Do you agree? Let me know in the comments. Show some love and leave a like. Don't forget to subscribe. And I'll catch you on the next one.
Shit, y'all ain't talking about nothing. I bought a car for everybody. They all came with a button. I showed the world that you don't have to say.